Okay, here's I did a little switch around. I wound a new coil actually, and if you look, you can see I sanded the one area off, and instead of running in these two to the end, now I've got them running to the center, and I can, here it goes off. Let me, okay, now I can use that to tune. I'm still using the capacitor here. This is the tuning capacitor, and I still have the antenna capacitor on. Now I'm also right now, because I've been working with some different things to show you that might help. I made a little transistor preamp running into the 386, and I'm running into the little small transistor radio style speaker. Now hold on, let me show you something. I'm going to click off for a moment. I'll be back in a second. Among the virtues. Okay, so what I did here is I took and connected this speaker up just to show you that you know, it'll push a speaker. So and it actually, I probably could hook up one of those bigger speakers in that 386, especially with the little preamp, would probably push one of those okay. It's pretty incredible actually. Right, I just wanted to show you this. Now I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna show you some other setups here too. Okay, now here, once again, we're looking at that setup right there. And on this one, we have the antenna coming in, and it's hooking up to this side of the coil. We also have one side of the capacitor hooked up to this side, and one side of the diode, just like it is on there. And then we also have one side of the capacitor going to ground, and then one half of the headset going to ground. Now we don't have the headset hooked up. We have our little amplifier hooked up. So, and it's running through our volume pot and everything else. But if you notice on this one, with this particular coil, now you can barely hear something coming out. And that beep, 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 beep stuff is my computer actually from in the living room. So that just shows you. But even if we try to tune, we're not really getting much of anything. So in this case, in this simple setup, this coil is not doing that well for us. Now, like I said before, I believe that if we have the transmitter hooked up, it's not going to be a problem. This coil, as long as, and with this antenna, now we might change the antenna, it might get a better reception too. Like I said before, I have a small wire. It's going up outside and just out a little ways. It's not a long line like it should be. So this just shows you that when you put it together, you might not get radio reception really well. You might have to try several coils. And if you notice, this coil I wound quite a bit because I wanted to have the bar here to be able to run across it for that setup. So, you know, like I said, you might have to wind several different coils if you're just going to use a very simple configuration. But before I did that, I would, if you're going to use it with the transmitter, like what we're going to do, I would wind whatever coil I'm going to wind. And like I said, this is a multi-purpose one because it has the sliding tap. You might want to consider one of those. And then in that case, if you're not using the transmitter, if you're trying to pick up radio, you're going to have a better chance. You can use this because it'll function in multiple ways. And you can always add, you can add another capacitor, that, which this is not hooked up now. The only capacitor that's hooked up is the main one. It'd be this one here. So that's just another way of looking at it. And it's one of the choices that you have. How cool is that?
We've got to get out of here.
Okay, I'm not going to leave this on very long because it's so loud, and I had to take it down. I put it on the big speaker, and it's like smashing me. Okay, so let me, hold on a second, let me turn this off. Okay. That is with the my AM transmitter, the Talking House. Same setup. Remember, before I could barely get that that station in? Well, same coil, same setup. That setup right there. And it's so loud. And I've got a potentiometer, a volume control. I actually tried to add another resistor to it because it was like so crazy loud at first. That's how well it picks up. And it comes in beautiful. Now here's the deal. I'm using the Talking House. That thing's designed for realtors to set things up so people can park out front in the street at the curb and listen to a presentation on a house. They broadcast pretty good. And they're designed to do that. So, like let's say we had like my little setup right there, which I am going to put that, I'm going to use that too and with this setup here. If you have one like that, or whatever one you have or make or use, it's going to depend on how loud it is, how close it has to be, the whole ball of wax. But I just wanted to show you, you can have a very simple setup. You don't need, all that stuff we had before, and that a real simple coil will work. Matter of fact, you might not even need the tuning cap. Maybe I'll mess that later, and if I can take it down to that much basics, I'll show you that one too. But I'm trying to show you that a real basic crystal radio with a transmitter will work great. And then now I think next video, because I'm going to try to keep this one short. I just wanted to show you a few things. I think we got to start looking at the amplifier. Remember, this has been a 386. It's pushing that speaker, and like I said before, I could grab one of those speakers over there, and I know it'll work because I've did it in the past. And there's a real simple schematic for the LM386. If you look up and go grab the data sheet, usually they show you it in different configurations. And down at the bottom, it'll show you the real simple amplifier. And now if you want more power, instead of having this single transistor, this NPN transistor, which is a 2N2222A, you can add a 741 op amp and use that as your preamp, and you'll be crazy on blowing out all the music or whatever you want. It will those work fantastic. So, okay, I'm going to let you go. I wanted to give you that demo and show you just how crazy loud it can be. Okay, see you later. Bye.